Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and we may be getting NERFS balance change today. I'll let you know the details of what may be coming or may not be coming, and how I feel about it, how others are feeling about it in regards to the standard meta, and also some really just horrifying things going on in WoW. It's of historic proportions, how broken WoW is, and how lackluster Blizzard's response appears to be towards it. And well, if you enjoy the content on our channel and you want to help us on a road to 69,420 subs, it would be awfully nice if you hit that sub button down below, give the video a like, and again, we're gonna have a big giveaway when we hit that milestone, so hit that sub button, get douchebag Zeddy, I don't know, broke or something. So what am I talking about? Balance change already? Didn't Festival of Legends just come out like 3 days ago? I don't know, I'm old, I can't keep track of these things. Well, Aleko Gariko on April 12th, this is a couple of days ago, I alluded to this in yesterday's video, I was saying it's been less than a day since Festival of Legends has been released. And by the way, Aleko is the lead balance guy on the Hearthstone team, saying, I am now accepting all hot takes regarding standard balance. We have a window today, which again was April 12th, so unless you have a time machine, you can't really go back and tell them how much you want Ticketus to get nerfed in WoW, still after all this time. It's fine, Ticketus doesn't matter anymore, regardless. We have a window today to get in some numbers-only adjustments for an early patch, which is basically, we have a hotfix we could put out, we can't put any new text, rework cards, all that, because that requires data and all that. Hotfix is just, you know, whatever, it's inputs, numbers, or whatever. And I gave my take on it, as you know I usually do, but we'll come back to that later. Zacho here from Vicious Syndicate, the lead writer over there, usually has some spicy takes and all that, but he got like 100. Wow, he got an extra like since I just looked at this, saying, I think balancing changes based on 1 day of data almost always backfires unless there's a deck that's Ashes of Outland tier, so Demon Hunter launch, which was utterly broken, which did say, I think, was it 6 cards nerf day 1? 3, 6, I can't remember. Regardless, it was beyond broken, and even with those day 1 nerfs, it was still beyond broken. Definitely warranted. He says there's no deck in the format that merits this response at the moment. And Aleko replied with, I appreciate this take, and it's important to note that just because we can patch doesn't mean we should. That said, there's usually a card or two that comes in a little hot, and we can improve the game in the short term by turning it down. Shock Spitter, for example. Wild would have something to say about one specific card that needs to be toned down. Well, it's not even really that card, it's what it enables. But regardless, it's funny that he says that regarding standard. We'll get to the Wild thing in a bit, but it got me thinking, like, of the day, and I've been thinking about it since. Should there be like a quick, like, is there an emergency nerf style card? Was there anything so bad? And well, let's take a look at the win rates on HS Replay. You look across all ranks, you can see there's 3 classes above and beyond everything else. You have Paladin, Death Knight, Demon Hunter, and you have a few classes are doing okay, like Hunter, Priest, Shaman, and then you got kind of the worst of Warlock, Warlock and Rogue, and then, my God, Mage and Warrior. I can't believe it. Nobody saw it coming that the rifts wouldn't make Warrior but good again. It's pretty crazy that Warrior somehow still terrible despite getting a 2-mana claw in 2023. But regardless, this isn't about buffs, as it was also noted by Aleko here, just in case you're wondering. This should note that this would be a very small patch, which means nerfs only for now. Buffs would come in a later patch. So if there is something like later today or early next week or whatever, it will solely be nerfs and no buffs. So Warrior, yeah, it's gonna stay pretty garbage until then. Looking at the meta, like top legend, you can see there are quite a few viable tier 1 and tier 2 decks. You will also note there's only 3 classes between all of them. You have every basically rune of Death Knight covered here. You have Frost, Blood, Unholy. 3 of the top 5 decks are Death Knight decks. They're all phenomenal. They don't run a bunch of new cards. It's mostly prior stuff, but again, they put a new class in the game at the end of a full standard rotation, how to put it to that power level, and then when the rotation happens, it just doesn't lose anything. So it's at like the end of a rotation power level, while every other class, for the most part, isn't there unless they just have some broken synergies, which is the case for like Pure Paladin. It's doing well. Outcast Demon Hunter and Relic Demon Hunter has emerged now, as well as super top tier, all about mana cheating, drawing a million cards. Is that just not the deal with Demon Hunter always? They just draw cards, they cheat mana, they kill ya, right? But if you're talking about day one nerfs, like emergency nerfs, you need clear outliers. And the problem with these decks, where we're talking about like, what do you nerf right away? What do you hit? You take a look at like popular deck lists, there's no clear outlier for these decks. You can look at Unholy, like, are you gonna nerf Foul Egg? It's got the best mulligan win rate by far, 66%. Everything else is basically in line. Like, is that the card? Is that going to fix the problem? Like, no, it's just the consistency of the deck. You take a look at Blood Death Knight, very similar situation here. You take a look at the mulligan win rate. I believe Astalor is the highest mulligan win rate card. Astalor, what a surprise. But still, like, it's not out of line of everything else. It's just normal numbers for a really well-performing deck. Everything just works really well. So if you're going to nerf based on day one, there's not really a clear outlier. Even take a look at Outcast Demon Hunter, which you'd be like, okay, well, nerf Glavetar, or nerf like the draw spell that is absolutely busted, right? Well, take a look at the mulligan win rate of these cards. Wretched Exile's up there, Rush the Stage. Like, you take a look at Glavetar, it's not even one of the best performing cards in the deck. It's just there, it's good, but it's overall, the deck just functions really well. So if you're looking at nerfs, you kind of got to dial back like probably a couple of key pieces and really figure out what's making it too well optimized. And I feel like one day of data, not going to happen. Whereas Demon Hunter, yeah, you have like 5 mana Skull. Of course, nerf that. That's ridiculous. What are you doing? And again, the other classes, like if you look at the bottom, it's amazing how bad. Like Warrior, Tony Warrior, 27%, Naga Mage, 32%, Mana Storm, 31%, Light Show, 33%, Control Warrior, 37%. Oh my God. Like, they're terrible, but you're not going to get there by nerfing a couple of decks up here. There's something fundamentally wrong with the approach to some of these classes and some of these decks, that either massive buffs or more likely actual good cards need to be given to make these other classes work. Because, you know, once you dial these decks back and it gets more reasonable, this stuff will move up. You'll have Rogue being more competitive again, and it's not even that bad. Hunter, Warlock, you got some mage decks that are working. Tony Druid's okay. Control Priest, like you'll even it out, but the bottom decks will not be saved. So again, for day one, I really don't think you nerf anything right away. You figure out what's making these decks too good and go from there in like maybe 2 or 3 weeks, right? So I personally wouldn't expect nerfs right away. I don't think it's the greatest idea, which led to my response about this thread here, where I did say I wouldn't adjust anything in standard yet. It seems too early, and even the stronger decks like Deathlight and Demon Hunter all feel counterable. But then I talk about Wild, and I said, I know you said no Wild changes, and why did I say that? Well, in this very thread, Aleko is asked, will you have a separate post for Wild Balance? Twig needs to become Refresh 10. It's much closer to the original design intent. And all they said, not looking at Wild until next patch. And that's not hotfix, that's patch. That's really scary. That is really terrifying, considering that could be weeks, that could be a month. And we are seeing, as per quoted here by Memnarch, a high Wild Legend player, taking a look at the data, Twig has hit a historic mulligan win rate. I have never seen it this high, ever. And I'm talking about Barnes, Keleseth, I'm talking about unnerfed Drekthar. Twig, when held in the mulligan, is at an 85% deck win rate. 85% mulligan win rate, sorry. Unbelievable. I've never seen that. If you have it in your opener, you're going to win 85 of 100 games. Like, that's incredible. And it's all because instrument tech, right? It makes your weapons that much more consistent. So if you hold Twig in your opener and you get either Sphere, you get 10 mana. If you get an instrument tech, you get 10 mana. And then you have Guff that can put you to 20, and then you can do whatever you want. And I've noticed that it doesn't matter what Druid build you're playing, whether it's this Astalor build that Corbett got rank 1 with, as long as you're running Twig Sphere, the weapon tutors, Guff, you can put whatever win condition you want, you are going to win a lot of games. It is an utterly broken interaction. And to me, I quoted this tweet saying, it is absolutely, I think this merits an emergency temporary ban. Absolutely. And we know they can do this. They've done it recently. We even talked about Test Subject. The last mini set was banned before it even came out. They banned Test Subject so it wouldn't break Wild. We also saw like Grim Patron and the whole, I can't remember, Frenzy Patron. They temporarily emergency hotfix banned those cards because they were broken with Corpse Explosion and Denathrius. They have the technology to temporarily ban cards. All you gotta do is temporarily ban the Twig, which is the big enabler of all this, and figure out what you're gonna do with the card in the meantime. You don't have to rework it. You don't have to rework the text and all of that in a hotfix. Just temporarily ban it, because this type of thing is just not acceptable for paying customers to have to deal with a format this utterly broken. And I hear about it non-stop every day on every platform now that they can't play Wild. It's just horrendous. And that's not even to talk about Duels, which is broken by Drekthar and the hero power. It's always Druid now. It's not Warlock, it's Druid. So I really hope they reconsider and throw out that emergency hotfix or emergency ban for Twig, because it absolutely warrants it. Will this fix Wild? No. I think Wild has some really big issues. This last set, particularly like Kingsbane Rogue with that pop card, utterly broken. There's some really broken stuff going on that I think a major patch needs to be done. But at least in the meantime, hit the absolute clear, unbelievably broken outlier, and, you know, maybe address it in the rest of the stuff in a future patch. And I really, really, really hope they reconsider, because it's not healthy. And they have shown a lot of, you know, care for Wild lately with the Wild Summit, where they nerfed like Quest Mage, Pillager, and all of that. And again, the early bans and temporary bans, I really hope they take a look at it, because 85% win rate, really not cool. Anyways, if there is that hotfix later today, if there's nerfs, I'll post that video later today. If there's some more general updates, I'll probably post it Saturday morning. So stay tuned for that. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.